battles with each and every member of this stage as well, whether it was versus Brian on the test arena or versus pinching runs of Jonty on the field as well. But also, you think back to 2011 and Battle of the Cricket World Cup, sorry, so I'm going to remind you of that final, right here in Mumbai as well. What is it about this moment that makes it so unique to have these individuals on stage with you?
Good evening, everyone. First of all, it's a huge privilege to be sitting on this dais alongside such great players. It's a surreal feeling. You know, I met Brian in 1990, Jonty again in 1991, Sangha after that, Water, and then I don't think I played against Morgan, but watched him play. But if someone had told me in 1990 and Brian that 35 years down the line we would still be playing against each other, we would not have believed. And that is what this competition is all about. We are looking forward to it. This is going to be competitive. I just got to know that Jonty has hurt his elbow, so there will be some runs available on PowerPoint.
Which one of you hurt it, I wonder?
He's not going to die around his promise. But it's a fabulous feeling to be here together. We'll be competing hard and we're looking to produce good cricket.
That's awesome. I have to say, a few of you haven't really aged since the 90s either. I won't go into which ones.
Sangha has been training really hard. I can imagine. You can look at him, he's in top shape.
And that golf swing is going to come to good effect as well, surely, when you're launching those, Sangha. But Brian, obviously for a lot of us who watched your battles in the test arena with Sachin, it's surreal here to watch you guys, as Sachin said, to come back into this fold. How surreal is it for you, in a very different avatar, in a T20 format as well, to come back into the fold?
Yeah, good evening everyone. It's great. You talk about that sort of comparing myself and Sachin. We used to have a serious laugh when everybody talked about it because we felt that, there's no reason to do so. We used to enjoy those days and playing against each other and just sort of communicating on that sort of level. Now T20 might have come around when I was just about leaving the game, but I think I do understand the game well enough to understand what I'm capable of doing. I do look forward to this tournament. This tournament is going to showcase a lot of talent. I think it's sort of a tournament that should have been around a very long time ago, so I see that it's going to have legs for some time, and in my team got the likes of Chris Gale and these guys, so I'm hoping that they will be able to carry me as well. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be very, very competitive. I'm looking forward.
The fact that you said you're going to have legs for a long time, Brian, and then you mentioned Chris Gale, I'm guessing you're going to try and work on getting him to run between the wickets. We haven't seen much of that through his career.
I like the boundaries. I like the boundaries.
Just coming across to you, because we were saying it earlier, right? You batted in the power play, you had the ball in the power play, you batted in the middle overs, bowled towards the back end of the innings as well. What role is Shane Watson going to take on here? How much of the hard work are you trying to palm off to the rest of the Aussie boys? Because it's a terrific squad you've got with you as well.
Yeah, good evening everybody. Yeah, it's certainly, we've got a very good squad that we've put together. A lot of relatively younger guys who are sort of fresh off a year or so of playing, so they'll be ready to go, which is the reason why it'll be mainly batting hours only for me at the top of the order. The bowling had sort of been on the back burner the previous sort of few years of my playing days anyway, so it would mainly be from a batting perspective, but it's just it really is a privilege to be able to be here on this stage with so many incredible players and some of my heroes growing up as well. So to be able to then come out onto the field over the next few weeks and just have a lot of fun. Obviously it's going to be competitive because of the calibre of players and quality of players that are going to be playing in the tournament. There's certainly not going to be too many, well, there's going to be no easy games at all. It's going to be very competitive, so it's going to be a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch you guys go at it as well. Sangha, sorry I have to say this twice in the span of 5 minutes, but the last time you faced off versus Sachin in Mumbai was in that iconic World Cup final. Sorry again. But just thinking back to those moments, being able to kind of relive it, maybe try and get a bit of revenge as well through that opening game. How much are you looking forward to this? Because it's such a special bunch of cricketers that are coming together And I guess you're going to rekindle a lot of old memories in the dressing room too.
Yeah, good evening, and I don't know whether to thank you for the question or not, but yeah, I mean, the 2011 World Cup, the journey was incredible. We fell short again, but it just goes to show the amount of service that Sachin has done to the game. You know, Mother Cricket always pays you back, and for him to be in that last World Cup and win the trophy, no matter how much heartbreak we had as Sri Lankans, I think that was an incredibly deserving end to what was an incredible career in terms of what he did in the Test, one day, every format he played. But I think it's a great tournament. When it was first announced, you always have this thing, what is it like to play again? Will they be the same? What will they do? Will they be able to hit a ball past the 30-yard circle? But then you get really excited to be on the same stage as all of these wonderfully great players. And then also, like you said, to play again with teammates, play against familiar opposition, and then pit your skills and that competitiveness against each other. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but also I think it'll be a lot of competitive cricket, because once you cross that white line, everyone wants to win.
Just going to say, no one on the stage likes losing. I think that is an absolute certainty. Jonty, we've just heard various aspects of what makes this special as well. For a lot of us, it wasn't just the gritty batting that you brought to the table game after game, but obviously the iconic runouts. You think back to that one that obviously stands out in 1992, but several others since then as well. Given that there might be a little bit of damage, if you spend some time with the physio, what can we expect? Some big dives, some big moves at the DY Patil to start things off. How much are you looking forward to it?
Namaskar everybody, good evening. I'm happy to announce that there is no off button, which is why regardless of the injuries that I could or couldn't have, same thing happened throughout my career. I haven't yet found the switch. And I think what we as a South African team are really looking forward to, other than competing against some of the best players in the world, and we've spoken about that, is playing in India. I think the South African cricket team has quite an affinity with the public, the cricket public in India. And that's something that we're really excited about, because we've had a really close link from the early 90s. South Africa, the first time we ever got back into the international scene, India had invited us. So there's a real tight history between the two countries, and while we're playing a Six Nations tournament, to have it hosted in India, we're really looking forward to that.
I guess you've had the shortest flight over as well from
Yes,
the south of Goa. Not from the south of Africa, but from the south of Goa.
Yeah, I'm very local. I had to show them my passport to get the green and gold again, to assure the players that I'm still South African.
I think they'll be happy to borrow you on the field every once in a while as well, Jonty. But Morgs, for you as well, did you expect to come out of retirement in some sense so quickly? Because I think you and Water must be, of course, the last of the retirees when it comes to the international game and franchise cricket as well. How much are you looking forward to this? Because are we going to see the tactician, the master tactician of white ball cricket that we saw, the more laid-back Eoin Morgan that I got to know over the last few years as well?
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. Pleasure to be here. The honest answer is no. I didn't expect to be back on the field as soon as recently retiring, but I think a number of, certainly the England team that are coming to play here would say the same. I'd imagine with some of the younger players in the squad, Stephen Finn is in our side, Boyd Rankin, Joe Denley of course, Ian Bell, the classy English, he's an English legend as it is, but it's terribly exciting. A cross of different generations of cricketers taking to the field, and I totally agree with everybody else's views. Things are going to be extremely competitive. It's great talking and laughing up here, but I grew up watching these two fine gentlemen idolising everything they did and everything they have done throughout their career. But T20, like Brian said, is just an evolution of things that are evolving day by day. We're unbelievably looking forward to it. So as regards captaining and batting, it's just going to be what you know, isn't it? So as far as we're concerned, it's have as much fun in India. While we're here, embrace absolutely everything there is to tour about. Being here, like we have done over the years, certainly in my playing career, in white ball and red ball cricket, the rivalry between England and India was quite fierce. That test tour back in 2012-13, the first time England had won here in a very, very long time. And then that white ball period where I was captain, things were very, very competitive. So I can't wait. I think it's going to be an amazing tournament full of big moments and lots of fun and laughs as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that from you guys as well. Sachin, but I just want to understand from a tournament standpoint, right? What cuts a different thread for the IML? What is it about the IML that's different? What is it that's unique that the fans would love to take away from this tournament as well?
You look at the balance of the team, all the sides. They are very, very strong teams. Some world-class players. It's a fantastic platform for the world-class players to engage with a different audience, a younger audience. Build that connect. And two reasons again for me also, which I feel are different, is both my batting heroes are part of Government Council. Viv Richards as well as Surreal Gavaskar. So that makes it really special for me. Of course, getting to rub shoulders with my colleagues with whom I've played a number of years, and two of the umpires I got along with. Billy and Simon.
That's amazing.
Both would be there again. So a lot of energy, and I'm sure there are going to be fiery spells because I've seen the bowling attacks. They're fairly young, fast bowlers, and there are going to be some fireworks from batters as well. So all in all, that engagement, that involvement with the newer generation as well. I'm sure the ones who followed us, I just mentioned that he grew up watching both of us. I know we've gone past 50, but
that's his first day. The first jive that's been thrown. First mind game.
Lara on my bedroom wall.
There you go.
There we go.
Brian, hope you're feeling young enough today. Thanks to Eoin. So much of left-handed love all gone. The left side of this room is done and dusted. But yeah, I think the nostalgia value is going to be so high for all of us. Honestly, sitting here, I think it's a goosebump moment for anyone in this room to see all six of you on the same stage as well. And Brian, you mentioned, for you, T20 cricket came towards the back end. You've obviously been involved in various facets, from a coach, a mentor, a broadcaster, and all of the other facets as well. But as a player, how much are you looking forward to this challenge, putting the pads back on, dancing down the track, and hitting a few spinners over their heads as well?
Yeah, I mean, the difference is, when you walk out to bat in a test match, there's so much responsibilities, and you got to back it for your team. And I found that when I looked at the T20 version of the game, guys would go out, they have a swing, they would score runs today, they'd score runs tomorrow, they'd be a superstar. So I'm looking forward to that side of it, where I don't have to bat for 2 days. It's just 10, 15 balls, may have a bad day today, but a good day tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I think we've got a very good team. I don't know when I'm going to be sitting in the batting order, but it should be a lot of fun.
I see you having a good chuckle there, but whenever it comes to multi-nation tournaments, Australia seem to find a way to turn up. Which of these guys do you think is going to take it the most seriously when it comes to leading their sides?
That's a great question. That's a tough question because everyone is very competitive. Every leader that's here is incredibly competitive. So there's no doubt also with the calibre of players that every team's got as well. And for the Australian team, we've got the West Indies straight up, which is going to be a big challenge, knowing the firepower they've got with the ball, which Brian Lara's going to utilise.
He's put that in his pocket, turned up with a young squad there on the bowling front. Well played, Brian, well played.
So it's just going to be so exciting to be a part of it. Just knowing how competitive the leaders here are and how competitive the Aussies are in general as well. So there's certainly not going to be. It's going to be a lot of fun out in the middle for sure, reliving those good times. But it's also going to be fun as well to make sure that you play your best.
You didn't leave many balls in your career when you left that question. Well dodged. Okay.
You're welcome.
Sanga, just on a more fun note as well, to just have a dressing room filled with a lot of guys that are in a very different stage of their life. How hard is it going to be to get them motivated to turn up at practice? Maybe throw them in a few ice baths as well when the body's not feeling the best at times. How much fun is it going to be to get back over that white line and compete?
I think if you mention ice baths, 90% of the teams here wouldn't turn up. Well, I think the motivation is just like everyone said, Sachin, Brian, Rhodes, Jonty. It's about playing against each other, with each other, and playing the game that we all love and we grew up playing. We made careers out of. So that's brilliant. Playing in front of people watching, and just kind of that one-upmanship. Have you still got it? Well, do I have it? That kind of that pull and tug and the push and pull. I think it's really important to recognize that competitiveness never dies.
Yeah.
Because I've watched so many cricketers play warm-up games in football or what others play. And the intensity is even higher than they play an international game. So I don't think there'll be a problem with that. But I think that'll also be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the memories that people walk away with, not just on the field but off the field as well. And over the years with the IPL and all of the leagues, players know about each other, get on much better. I think that's fantastic, and all of that will come out. But I think cricket will also be of high quality. And didn't like to mention tall, fast bowlers, but I guess there's a few around as well.
Yeah, we'll come to that come game time as well. It would be nice to see how it all unravels. But Jonty, you guys of course have Jacques, who's going to be leading the side. One of the greatest, if not the greatest all-rounder to play the game. Would love your thoughts on what he brings to the table in terms of your WhatsApp chats already and bringing the team together. He's not here, so you don't have to be too nice even if you don't know.
Yeah, when there's a microphone involved or any team communications, Jacques is very hard to find. So, very reluctant speaker. Even in his playing days, he was somebody in a team environment that would say the least. And when he did say something, it was pretty humorous. So you kind of were very surprised when he said anything. I think from a perspective where he's been playing a lot of cricket since he's retired, surprisingly, because we, as a South African team, as a collective of players and ex-players, if there was like one player to never play cricket again, it would have been Jacques Kallis. On our list, it really would have been Jacques Kallis. But he wanted to take up golf seriously, and he stayed really fit. And surprise, surprise, here he is leading the side. But if there's any communication, it's not going to be with Jacques Kallis. I'm afraid you're stuck with me for a while.
Sachin Bhaji, you can also take credit for the fact that IML has brought Jacques Kallis properly out of retirement when no one else clearly could. But guys, just before we finish off in the interest of time, would love your thoughts, each of you. If you could borrow one skill, Sanga, from any of the other men on this stage, what would it be? Who would it be from?
These two gentlemen, one in blue, one in maroon, the way they could bat, if I could get maybe 10 to 12% of what they had, I think I'd have done very well.
I think it's safe to say you did get more than 10 to 12% in your own times, but I love the answer. Mogs?
Yeah, I would go with the two same men, but I'd steal Sachin's on drive and Brian's pull on one leg.
Oh, nice. Love to see the side of that. Brian?
Well, I think I spent a lot of time in slips, so if I had to pick something, it would be Sangakara's wicket keeping. I think I would love to be involved a little bit more, in the game other than just batting. So his wicket keeping for sure.
Love it. What?
I would have to say these two guys here, their ability to play spin was something that, wasn't my absolute strength. Especially the way they use their feet, and also Jonty's agility in the field. Something else which wasn't my strength either.
Well, he's bringing it back in 2025. Jonty, what about you?
Gee, interesting. I mean, it really is tough to think of. For me, Brian Lara's golf swing. It's just
Which one, the right-handed one or the left-handed one?
It's just as easy as that backward point thing I was trying to avoid, that cut with the high back lift. So yeah, I think his golf swing, his cricket, nothing I want to borrow from his cricket. He's way ahead of me, all these guys are. It's his golf swing that really excites me.
Love it. And finally, Sachin Bhaji?
For me, again, I go with everyone. You see, who do you leave out? It's just incredible what everyone has been able to achieve in their careers. Some achieved a little more. The one sitting next to you scored big runs, that was very, very consistent, and the one next to me also was very, very special. These two guys, the best fielder that I have played against. In my school days, we would invariably bring our own bats.
Yeah.
And the moment we were dismissed, we would take the bat and go home and not feed. So possibly feeding from my friend.
Love it, absolutely love it. Guys, thanks so much for that little chat. I hope you guys all enjoyed getting a little insight into some of the best minds that have ever played the game. But I think the moment is here to unveil this lovely trophy. Before we do get there though, I've just been reminded, I've been so excited by the Ironman, I forget there is a Champions Trophy coming up as well around the corner. Morgs, your thoughts on the Champions Trophy? Would love to just understand in terms of the teams going in. I know England have had a tricky run coming in at this stage, but your thoughts on some of the top teams that you see at the end of the tournament?
Yeah, Champions Trophy was one of my favourite tournaments to play in. Short, sharp, you had to peak in a very short period of time in order to beat some of the best sides in the world, adapt to conditions, and gel very, very quickly. So I'm delighted that there's one starting today. I don't know how New Zealand got 40 for 2 last time I checked, but that was a 23. Okay, but to do the runners and riders, I would say a side that's the front runner, best positioned across the squad. I would say India, out and out favourites. I can't really pick any holes in their side, and I know that's been the case the last couple of tournaments they've gone into. Final in Ahmedabad, where Australia picked them, and then the T20 win, where they robbed the trophy out of South Africa's hands. And you have to still believe that winning trophies and tasting champagne breeds confidence, because once you've been there, you can believe that you can do it again. So that's why India out and out favourites. Outsiders that are a chance, I never rule Pakistan out of it. Again, home conditions will favour them, and I would say England are an outside chance as well. They've been in not great form for a period of time. Brendan McCullum has just taken over, and in a short space of time it's hard to achieve anything. They play Australia on Saturday, who are a side without Stark, Hazelwood Cummins and Marcus Stoinis, who is recently retired as well. So I'd imagine whoever out of those two sides wins, who I think England will, could go on a bit of a run. But I'm excited. I love the Champions Trophy.
Love it. Wado, finally from you, given that you dodged the previous question nicely, throw you out of the scanner here for one last thought on the Champions Trophy and your thoughts on sort of the trophy, the Champions Trophy itself, but teams that could come and sort of boss the tournament.
Yeah, the Champions Trophy for me was absolutely one of my favourite tournaments that I played. To be able to play in a mini World Cup when every game is incredibly important. That's what you want to. That's the tournaments you want to play as a player. But it's also for the fans watching. They're the tournaments they want to watch. Like, that's the reason why the One Day and T20 World Cups are so incredible to be a part of. So for me, it was my first experience of Champions Trophies in 2002. Where the Aussie team lost against Sri Lanka in Primadasa Stadium, which is an amazing experience in and around that Aussie team. But when it comes to the favourites, it has to be India. They've bolstered with Hardik Pandya coming in as that fast bowling all-rounder. Unfortunately, they don't have Jasprit Bumrah, but it's just about the identical squad to what they had in the last one-day World Cup, where they dominated up until the final. So I'd be very surprised if the conditions they're going to get in Dubai is going to suit them down to the ground. I'm very confident with the Aussies. Their batting's very, very strong. Their bowling, there's going to be a few question marks around that, but they certainly know how to be able to turn up in big tournaments. So I'd be surprised if Australia aren't there and thereabouts.
Gentlemen, thank you. Great insights on everything on the world of cricket and your own careers as well. I think the time has come to unveil that glittering trophy that you'll all be vying for. You've all tasted a sample